And welcome to the Burger and Badass Show. We are back again like we do every Wednesday night to talk a little bit of college football. And Badass, after this week, officially be two guys talking about college basketball.
Yeah, don't even remind me. It makes me depressed.
I know. Football season went so quick this year.
God, yeah, it did, dude. Like, you don't even know. Like, I'm depressed thinking about this. And this is coming from a guy who just won a considerably sized football pool, might I add.
I was going to say congratulations. I was going to mention that because that's pretty awesome. And you knew after the Penn State USC game, which we're going to talk about a little bit later, but
it came down to that.
It came down to that game, and it was a nail biter.
And your boy Badass covered on that +7.
Barely got by 4 points.
Dude, I'll tell you, when USC lined up, when on that last field goal, when they were lining up for the field goal, the only thing I could think was, drill this motherfucker. Drill it. Drill it. Drill it. The game will end right here and now, and I'm going to cover on the spread. And as soon as they did, all I could hear in my head was like the Ted DiBiase theme song, that money, money. I was just money. I was like, oh my God.
How much you end up winning on that, Badass?
I mean, can we really say? Is that illegal for me to announce on the radio?
No, because it's just a friendly bet between family and friends.
Okay, well, in this, for entertainment purposes only,
yes,
I happen to win 2,000 credits.
Ooh, 2,000 credits.
Yeah,
nice.
2,000 credits. We'll call them credits. Yes, I won 2,000 credits. Thank you, Penn State. Thank you. Thank you, USC, for drilling that field goal. Because let me tell you, that shit. All right, let's on to the show.
All right,
enough about my bullshit.
All right, so we're on to the show, episode 15, our final week of college football. Going into next week, we're going to college basketball. We kind of talked about it off air, and we decided we're going to go in the college basketball realm. So we're going to start talking about college basketball next week. So definitely make sure you guys stay tuned in for that. But let's go ahead and get into episode 15, and we're going to talk about headlines, and then we're going to talk about what happened last week, how we did, and then we're going to get on to the final Alabama-Clemson part 2.
Absolutely.
So we're going to talk about that. And so to start off the show, I wanted to talk about something we've been talking about the last couple of weeks. And
this has been an ongoing saga, has it not?
It has been for the last about 3 weeks, maybe 4 weeks.
It's been a fucking clown show. It's like it snowballed into this fucking fiasco.
So it's official. Minnesota has fired their head coach, Tracy Claeys. Minnesota released a statement stating that the school was in need for a strong leadership to address challenges in recruiting, ticket sales, and culture of the program. According to the Star Tribune, Western Michigan's coach PJ Fleck, Boise State's Brian Harsin, and former LSU coach Les Miles are all possible replacements for this spot.
Yeah, see, I've been hearing a couple of those names tossed around. I know that PJ Fleck was an early candidate for possibly getting the Notre Dame job. It's still a possibility in the realm of all things, but I'm not going to lie. I would actually like to see a big-time coach go up there. Because, that Minnesota's not really known for, like, big time. And, like, they're just, it's Minnesota football. It's a lot of run heavy. It's a lot in the cold.
Let me guess, Badass. I'm thinking the latter of the three, Les Miles.
I mean, everyone might call me like a Les Miles, like aficionado or an affiliate or fanboy. I don't really give a fuck what you call me. The fact is this, the man's record speaks for itself. And yes, I do understand that he didn't do a whole lot of winning against the upper echelon tier like Nick Saban. But that's the thing. Not very many people are beating Nick Saban. But what LSU had was an insanely good record year in and year out with him. And they were always at the top of the recruiting charts. They were always in the mix. Like, you could never truly count LSU out with them because they had the fucking hat, the Mad Hatter. And they had a really good defensive line, always. Let me tell you guys something out there. If LSU ever sniffed a decent quarterback back in all them days when Les Miles was rolling, they would have had more championships than just one.
You really think so?
Yeah, hell yeah. Their D lines were insanely good. I mean, think about it. Alabama's only been held in check really once this season. And that was by LSU, and that wasn't even under Les Miles.
That was
But
under new
about a lot,
coach.
but a lot of them boys are Les Miles as recruits, are they not?
Oh yeah, they definitely are.
And that's what I mean. Like, I know what people were thinking, but Les Miles would be a really good fit. I mean, I've tried to tell that to Notre Dame. I'll tell it to Minnesota. I'll tell it to Delaware fucking State. Like they'd ever get somebody like him. But even if they were to add, I'd tell you, this is a quality candidate. If you can get him to interview and he likes you and you can agree to an actual hire, like, this is an upgrade. I don't care who the fuck you are, unless you're actually Alabama or maybe Clemson right now or Michigan or Ohio State. Like, there's not too many people you can upgrade. Like, he is a definite upgrade for 95% of programs out there right now.
I mean, let's be real about it. Les Miles isn't just an upgrade. He's like the Jeffersons. They're moving on up to the east side, the deluxe apartment in the sky.
That's what I'm saying.
I mean, Les Miles. I mean, that's a top-notch coach.
He's elite. Like,
He's an elite coach. Like, why would you not go after him? And I mean, I know it's Minnesota. Everybody says, "Oh, it's Minnesota," but you know what? Minnesota was a very scrappy bunch this year, and I'm telling you, those guys had a lot of heart. And after all that stuff that happened with this coach and all the incidences and 10 players getting released and the up and down year they had all year, they still won their bowl game.
Yeah, and honestly, I won't lie. They were one of my losses. I went 22-10 on my sheet, and it ended up being the money. But one of them 10 losses was a Minnesota defeat. Because I'm not gonna lie, I truly thought that Washington State was gonna come out and just steamroll them because truly they were the better team that played like shit. And Minnesota, I knew could run with them, but I figured, well, you know what? You're going to be distracted. Your head's not going to be in it. But I was completely wrong. They were in that game. They played a very good team and beat them, and it cost me that was a loss. I mean, and honestly, it's my own damn fault because I've been taking Minnesota like literally 75% of the time this year, and they've been pretty money.
I mean, how much more of a Minnesota fan would you be if Les Miles went to Minnesota? Because I know you've grown very very loving, like a father figure to Minnesota as your second team. Of course, Clemson being number one. You know, that Minnesota team, you've loved them all year long. How much more would you love them if Les Miles went to Minnesota?
They're the Golden Gophers. They need to get a golden coach, and everything would just be straight gold, wouldn't it?
Yeah, definitely would be.
But I don't know if Minnesota's got pockets that can fill Les Miles' need. But if you do, I don't think you quite understand how much you gain, because even though he's quote unquote not your typical standard hire, how many people that never even considered Minnesota before automatically do the day that you hire him?
Oh yeah. That's a game changer.
You steal recruits from fucking Michigan and Ohio State. Like, people that they actually go and check out because they're good enough to go. You start keeping them and stealing them to come over there because you have an elite coach.
So my next question to you would be, let's say Les Miles, they don't have the money or he doesn't like the program and decides not to go there. Out of the other two, who would you say you would rather have? Western Michigan's PJ Fleck or Boise State's Brian Harsin?
I would probably go with PJ Fleck. Listen, Western Michigan played a very talented Wisconsin team and actually played them rather tough. And Wisconsin actually had to play their style of football, and they didn't abandon their game plan. They are not anything flashy. They're just going to literally run the ball, wear you down, old school football. And Western Michigan gave them a game. Now, don't get me wrong, Wisconsin covered the spread on that game, as I knew they would. Anybody out there that thought Western Michigan actually had a chance, I'm sorry to say. Like, they were going to play a good game, and we knew that, but there's no way they were going to actually beat Wisconsin. Like, Penn State pulled a miracle comeback on Wisconsin. That's because they actually have the recruits and talent worthy enough to do it. You're talking about Western Michigan here. They're good, but they're not that good. So, They were brought back down to reality on that, but you know what? They handled it with class. They played really good. And if PJ Fleck doesn't go anywhere, there's a chance for them to build upon what they've done and improve and do more. And who knows? Maybe next year they do knock off a Wisconsin type team in a bowl game.
I mean, anything's possible.
Right.
Especially when you have what a quality year they had this year. People are going to start looking at Western Michigan and go, "Wow, that's not a bad school to go to. Let's go to Western Michigan. Let's go play football." And they're going to start getting decent players. They're going to be out there. They could do anything and go undefeated. Of course, the division they played. I mean, they're going to go undefeated probably again next year. I believe that PJ has a good program going there. But Minnesota is a step up for them. I mean, you're going to a bigger name college, more recruiting, better recruiting. I mean,
PJ Fleck will probably end up getting the job because he's from that area. He'll have no problem recruiting it. So he'll probably get it.
You think so?
Probably.
All right, so we'll keep you updated on that. And moving on to our next topic I want to talk about. Old Lane Kiffin's back in the stories again, and this time not for the good. Originally, Lane Kiffin was supposed to be staying with the team through the end of the season, but now he will not be joining Alabama for the title game. Saban said Kiffin wanting to assist in the coach's box was not something we were into. It's not possible from a legal standpoint. When Kiffin was asked what he would miss from his time in Alabama, Kiffin said, "I don't recall a happy memory. I just recall the ass chewing. I won't take that part of the process with me."
I mean, what else can I say? I mean, that's pretty boss. I mean, he just straight went up to the media and laid it down. Like, I mean, he literally gave him some of that old school funk. Like, well, let me break it down for you. I mean, he pretty much let him know, and he didn't give a fuck about it. I mean, I'm going to go ahead and quote a guy on radio from around our way down here. His name's Depp Tula. I have to agree with his assumption. I think Lane Kiffin is like the mafia of NCAA football.
I actually heard him say that.
I think he is. I think Lane Kiffin's the mafia because listen, USC fired his ass off of a bus. So Tennessee took his sorry ass in. He left their motherfucking asses in shambles. And the only place that he went was under... Because look, Saban was like, I'll give you a job because you're going to do shit my way. And what did Kiffin do? Nah, fuck that. Just going to do whatever he wants to do and just deal with... Listen.
Straight gangster.
Listen, all right. You are the offensive coordinator of an undefeated national champion, defending and returning national championship football team. And you can't get along with the man running the show and y'all are that successful. You've got to be a motherfucker, dude. So, Lane Kiffin, from one to another, you's a motherfucker.
I mean, that's just straight up boss what he did. I mean, he pretty much said, you know what, I'm going to tell you exactly how it was, and I don't care if it hurts any feelings. It's kind of like when you quit that job that you really hate and you're tired of it, and as soon as you get home, you get on Facebook and you just badmouth them something horrible.
Or you do like me and you just straight go all out.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you want to go my level. My level is one of them like, once you go there, you can't come back type things.
Yeah, you're officially banned from that place.
Yeah, we can't get into the actual details of said
activities.
But yeah. But yeah, me and Berger have both worked in the same establishment at the same time. A very well-known pizza establishment in the state of Delaware. And I'm not going to lie. When I quit from there, it was quite epic.
It was epic. It's a story that will be told for ages.
And believe me, if I'm on the no rehire under any circumstances ever again list, like when my mother's friend works in their offices and she is one of their head secretaries and she typed my name into their system and giant red letters come up, no rehire under any circumstances ever. So I can't state said name of place, but you know what? Y'all can go rotate on a dick for all I care. because you listen. There's an old saying in Delaware about everybody does time in beep, because I can't say the establishment's name, but that place is like a fucking prison, man.
It is. I did 9 years.
Yeah, you did 9 years.
I did 9 years. I don't know how I got. By the time I was done, I was probably could have been checked in for being legally insane.
Oh yeah,
because I was at that point. I was at that breaking point where some said activities might have happened if stuff kept happening. Kind of said activities. I was going to just break bad and do something horrible, but I finally got out of that place. Thank God. But getting back to what we're talking about, we totally went off script there.
Yeah, we're talking about our Lane Kiffinings.
I know, we're talking about our Lane Kiffinings. Lane Kiffin is a boss.
Yeah, I think he gets the Banff Award.
I think he gets the Banff Award of the week.
Yeah,
he did it with style and class.
Yeah, he did. He wins the Banff.
So, moving on, we now are going to talk about what happened last week. We have championship semifinals. And we had Alabama beating Washington 24-7. Alabama had 326 yards total offense, 57 passing, and 269 running, while Washington only had 194 total yards, 150 passing, and 44 rushing, and had 3 turnovers, 1 fumble, and 2 interceptions. Alabama's Bo Scarborough had 180 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns. So that was the first semifinal game, and Alabama came out and did kick butt, but they didn't kick as much butt as I thought they were going to kick. Washington actually kept us in pretty close games in the beginning, and then Alabama kind of got away with that interception they got that they ran back for a touchdown.
I think Alabama showed up to play a game like they always do. I think that they didn't deviate from their game plan at all. I'm not going to say they disrespected Washington, but they not going to show them the amount of respect that they're about to show Clemson on the title game, because they will respect us. Trust me. They're not just going to be talking no shit on us like we're like, trust me, that's not happening. But Washington, look, you showed up with a quarterback who'd never been in that big of a stage before, who's not all that bad a quarterback, but, his mechanics. He's not a quarterback with a very massive cannon arm. Like, he's not going to throw off his back foot a 30-yard pass and nail it. Like, he's got to actually, plant his foot and throw into the ball. And, you ain't taking a 5-step drop and planting and getting ready. And Bama's already on your ass if you try that, especially when your O-line is not elite. You have to have an elite O-line in order to give your quarterback time, or you better have a quarterback that can do everything.
Now, to me, I don't know.
He was too one-dimensional.
Looking at this game, to me, it looked like Alabama just did enough to get by. I mean, did you have the same feel in this game, or did you feel like Alabama had pretty much control and they could have scored more touchdowns, but decided that, not up the score? I mean, I don't know.
Well, yes and no. And what I mean by that is they did cover the spread. So, I mean, they beat Washington by more than 15 points. And that was laying a lot of points down for a playoff game. But they did win by more than that. But it seemed to me like their offense kind of stalled. It's almost as if Lane Kiffin was just being an asshole and he knew it was the end. To me, it didn't look like, it looked like Alabama was kind of letting off the gas a little bit. And they normally don't do that because they're a championship poised team. They are pretty headstrong about not ever laying down, but it seemed like they almost did because Washington ain't that damn good.
I mean, no, they're not. I mean, yes, they did win the division and everything, but I think, like you said, Penn State would have been a better matchup here.
Oh, hell yeah.
But my question is to you, they only had 57 yards passing and 269 yards running in this game. And lucky enough, Bo Scarborough showed up and ran, like a workhorse that he was, and just ran the ball like crazy. Because if it wasn't for that, they really weren't getting anywhere in the air. I kind of agree with what you were saying about the Lane Kiffin thing, with his kind of maybe what led to the decision of Saban saying Kiffin, you're not coaching the championship game because you do that against Clemson. Clemson's going to whoop their ass. I mean, point blank, they're going to whoop that ass, and they're going to be.
Yeah, you play Clemson like you just played Washington. We whip your ass.
Oh yeah, multiple touchdowns.
I will say this. What I saw was Washington's line not being able to handle Scarborough because he is a big punter. He's a big back. He's almost like Derrick Henry. He's not quite the hammer that he is, but he's almost there. But see, we are equipped to we're equipped to deal with him. Because let me tell y'all something. If y'all ain't let me remind you. Last year, Derrick Henry, except for his one break play, he was held in check pretty much the whole night by a less talented D-line. Because this year, we've got a sophomore Christian Wilkins, which we'll get to him later. But we have him. We have Dexter Lawrence. We have Boulware. We have our whole defense, the whole line, Pagano, Dorian O'Dan. It doesn't matter. Like all these players, Austin Bryant, Cleveland Farrell. I mean, we have so many weapons on D-line, and they're actual grown men. They're not going to lay down. Like, I'd like to see Scarborough run right at Dexter Lawrence. I'd love to see that because I know who's going to win that shit every time, and that's a great night for us. But what I'm getting at is that Clemson's defense is equipped to handle that this year much better than last year. And I'm not at all convinced that if Jalen Hurts has to actually throw the ball on us, Bama's not going to win. And I know they got great wide receivers that can make plays. They do. But Jalen Hurts is not accurate downfield. Like, if you actually check his numbers, if anything under 15 yards, he's all right. He can do. Anything over that, you're asking for a miracle. He's not a deep threat. And I would just like people to understand here that a Clemson, again, last year, offense was running at 70%. And we ran Alabama like dogs up and down the field other than special teams. And I want you to understand this year, you have Mike Williams, Artavis Scott, Hunter Renfrow, Ray McLeod. Hold on, I know I'm missing a bunch already. You have so many receivers. You have Wayne Gallman, Deshaun Watson on the field at all times. You got Deion Kane, who's always on the field. I mean, you have all these receivers, and you've got to cover all these cats. And then the second you've got them all covered, Jordan Leggett's breaking loose. Like, we have so many weapons on offense. It's stupid. And they're all healthy, and you got to guard all them. And I know Alabama will only rush. They'll send 4, and they drop 7. That's how they only will take 4 people. They'll blitz a little bit, but for the most part, they're going to run 4 at you and drop into coverage. But when you have to cover every one of those guys, good luck, because one of them's going to get open.
And then even if not that, you think about it, okay, well, maybe you guys do drop enough back and you cover all your guys. Guess what then you have? Get Deshaun Watson taking off for 15, 20 yards.
Exactly. Like, this year's team is much more complete. And I know a lot of people are, like, thinking I'm stupid for saying that, but by the by, this year we are much more equipped to handle them because last year we did not have Mike Williams. We did not have Deion Kane. We did not have Dexter Lawrence. We didn't have all these healthy people ready to go. We didn't have all that. I mean, I want you to understand, Shaq Lawson and Mackenzie Alexander, they don't go out of last year's game. That changed everything because Mackenzie locks down a whole side of the field and Shaq's not letting nobody run. I mean, you have to understand, people, like, we're much better equipped. Like, that's why I think Vegas is trying to really trick people into fucking making a stupid mistake here because they've got Alabama as a favorite. But I think Vegas even knows. I think the fix is in. I think they know Clemson's going to win this game. And I know everybody out there thinks I'm fucking stupid.
I actually have to agree with you, Badass. Because I know we were talking early in the week about this game. And I was telling you, I was like, man, I'm really liking Clemson. Because Clemson just seems like that team of destiny. They seem more equipped this year. Like you were saying. They seem like they have more coverage, a more rounded team around them on defense and on offense, that they're almost like an Alabama team where they're unstoppable.
Not to mention the fact that their special teams is vastly improved.
Oh yeah, I think getting rid of Ray Ray out of the back, smart.
Yeah.
He too many fumbles, too many mistakes back there. You just can't have it.
There's only your raw talent is only so good. Like I'm tired of hearing that. Well, he's raw talent. I don't care how fast you are. If you can't hang on to the fucking ball, you're useless. Because the guy who's catching the punts, that's one of the biggest jobs. Because if you fuck that up, you could possibly ruin an entire game. Momentum shift, a touchdown. I mean, you can't do that. You have to be Mr. fucking Sure Hand. And Ray, you are not Mr. Sure Hands. You like every time you touch the ball, for real, dude, every time you touch the ball, my heart drops into my stomach because I know at some point you're gonna put the damn ball on the ground and it pisses me off, man. So
You know, the
bad.
funny thing is I'm not even a Clemson fan. When I see Ray Ray back there taking a punt return or a kickoff, my heart starts going, "Oh God!"
You
He's
see
gonna
number
try-
34 used to asshole Titans.
Oh yeah, you're like, "Oh God!" He's gonna fumble the ball. Hold on to the ball for the love of God. Please hold on to the ball.
God,
You have one job. Hold on to the ball.
for real, like that's there ain't nothing else can be said about that. There really isn't.
So let's go ahead and move on and talk about our second game. And I know you're happy about this one. I know we watched it a little bit Saturday night, and we really enjoyed it. And it was Clemson destroying Ohio State 31-0.
Yeah, that's what I got to say about that. We actually just shut out Urban Meyer. We're the first people to do that, by the way.
I was actually gonna talk about that later on, and when I started going to the stats and stuff, 194 games, never being shut out, and he got shut out.
And not only that, we made it look good.
Oh yeah, definitely. I watched this game. Deshaun was doing the bow and arrows. They were doing the soup.
JT who? Who? I mean, I'm sorry. I thought y'all had like an elite talent caliber quarterback. JT who? Barrett? I mean,
He's so embarrassed. He's coming back next year because he figures, oh, but Deshaun's not going to be there next year, so I'll have a better chance.
I mean, all I saw was one team completely dominating the other. That's what I saw.
So let's go ahead and talk about it a little bit. We have Clemson had 470 total yards, 265 passing, 205 rushing, and 2 turnovers. Both were interceptions by Watson. Watson had 259 yards passing, 1 touchdown. Wayne Gallman has 85 yards rushing with 1 touchdown, while Watson had 57 yards rushing and 2 touchdowns. So that's exactly what we talked about. Watson's a mobile quarterback, and he just take off running, and by the time you realize he's downfield, he's already gone.
And that's the thing. He's shifty. He's not even really all that fast. He's just shifty. He makes people miss. Like, I don't know. He has perfect game sense and vision because he does. He'll make you miss. And all I can tell you Buckeye assholes out there is that makes y'all 0-3 now, lifetime versus Clemson. So all I got for y'all is who's your daddy? Who's your daddy? And obviously us, because all we do is own your asses every time we play y'all. I mean, shit, next time we line up, we'll probably be a 14-point favorite just because y'all can't seem to fucking beat us. It's great.
Now, looking at Ohio's stats, and you can tell, like, Ohio State offense had nothing for Clemson's defense. Ohio State had 215 yards total, 127 passing, and only 88 yards rushing, and 3 turnovers, 1 fumble, and 2 interceptions. JT Barrett threw for 127 yards, no touchdowns, 2 interceptions. And like I said before, this is the first time in 194 games that Coach Urban Meyer got shut out. I mean, it was just a total ass kicking right from the start. I mean, you sat there and watched this game, and I mean, they came out, threw that first interception. I was like, oh God, and it was like deep in the territory too, and I was like, oh.
And it was very early.
First one, Mike Williams, I think he slipped and fell.
Yep.
Kind of gave him that what the hell was that kind of look of like I was nowhere even
The
close
field
there.
was wet as shit. I mean, I don't know if anybody else noticed, but that field was sogged down bad. They were slipping and sliding. It was fucking Little Richard song again.
But he threw that first interception. I was like, oh God, here we go. And then Clemson's defense came out, stopped them,
Stonewalled him on
stonewalled
that field
them,
goal.
missed the field goal. Clemson gets the ball back, goes down and scores. And then the route was on after that. I mean, after that, they just started scoring at will. It looked like they almost gave up after the second quarter. It really did, because it just, JT Barrett had no answer for Clemson's defense, and Ohio State's defense had no answer for Deshaun Watson.
No, they really didn't. Like, they were not prepared.
I mean, not only did he throw for 259 yards and a touchdown, then he just ran for 57 and 2 more touchdowns. So he had 3 total touchdowns and over 300 all-purpose yards.
So basically, when we got down there near the goal line, we just ran option package, let him run it on in. I mean, trust me, he's got the vision for it.
Well, I think a couple of times they tried to give it to Gallman, but they just stopped him, so they had to go to the play action, kind of fool him a little bit and then take off running.
See, I don't know. It's kind of weird about Gallman, too, because there's games where he won't really do a whole lot. Like, he'll run, but it's nothing special, and then, like, the very next game, he'll pound somebody for, like, 150 yards and, like, 2 scores. It's ridiculous. Like, it wouldn't surprise me if he's teed up for Alabama, because they played him pretty tough last year, and he's ready to get another crack at them.
But it was just a total ass kicking right from the start, like I said before. And now Clemson is going on to face Alabama for Clemson, Alabama 2.
Yeah, I had to give you that one again.
You know what's funny? I thought this was a little bit funny. You said you expected it. The game still had like about a minute to go in the game. And announcers are already saying, oh, Alabama's a 7-point favorite right off the bat. I was like, damn, game's not even over yet. And they already have Alabama as a 7-point favorite.
I know, and you know what? That's cool. You want to give Clemson a whole touchdown in this game? Shit, I'll take that all day long. Anybody want to make bets? I just won some money. I'll fucking win some more. You want to take bets? I got you. You want to lay a touchdown? Okay. Come on with it. Come on with it. I'll take your money.
So I do want to talk about something before we get into the rest of the bowl games. I do want to talk about another topic that came up. It was kind of weird. And it had to deal with your boys, Clemson.
I already know what this is going to be about. You might as well get right to it.
So Christian Wilkins of Clemson's defensive lineman was a big hit on social media this week. There is a video from the Ohio State game where Christian Wilkinson is basically reaching down and grabbing the Ohio State player's junk and sticking his thumb up his butthole. Wilkins commented, said, I was just being silly, and it's the stuff you do when you're in competition. Of course, Ben Bowler had to add in there. He says, we've done this all year to mess with players. No one has done it as assertive as Christian did. We try to be more discreet about it.
Basically, what I'm hearing is this is an intimidation factor. We're already whooping your ass on the field, and then you're already down. You're already distraught because you know you're going to lose this game. You're getting absolutely manhandled. And then dude comes up and grabs your nuts like, hey, boy, what's going on? These nuts is, I mean, you're just like, God damn. Like, it's a psychological thing. It's got to be. I think our team likes to physically fuck with people and just be like, hey, we got you by the balls. How you like that? Like, I mean, I think they're some dirty sons of bitches, dude.
You know, I have to say, in my many, 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 many years of watching sports, this is a new one for me.
Just grabbing on people's nuts.
Grabbing on people's nuts and sticking your thumb up your butthole.
He did, dude.
And it's being done as being the intimidation factor.
Honestly, dude, it's either that or our team is so comfortable with each other and themselves that they can do some gay shit like that and it don't even faze them. Like, honestly, if somebody just stuck their fucking finger up your ass and fondled your nuts, you ain't gonna be thinking about the next play, are you? No, you can be
No,
like,
you're not.
Some bitch just grabbed my nuts, dude. What the fuck was that?
This dude just stuck his thumb up my butthole.
Yeah, dude. That's
I kind of messed it. Doesn't I understand why about the whole psychological thing and all that. Man, that's some gay stuff.
I'm not gonna lie. I think that shit was funny because all I heard after that game, every time I went somewhere, like, that was a good game. They're like, man, did you see Christian Wilkins grabbing on that dude's nuts? I was like, oh my god. I was like, that's all y'all want to talk about. Y'all only want to talk about 31-0 blowing out Urban Meyer and Ohio State. All y'all want to talk about is grabbing his nuts. So I'm just like, oh man.
And I mean, it's been all over the place. You can't go nowhere on the internet and not see this story. Yahoo got this story. ESPN got this story. I mean, it's all over the place.
Watch
Facebook. You go to Facebook, it's all over. People, what's this shit? You know,
social justice warriors are going to come out and demand that he be arrested for sexual harassment. You watch.
PC world we live in. I'm telling you.
Yeah, I'm telling you, the millennials will come. The butthurt will be immense.
I mean, it's funny. I mean, I do. I agree with you a little bit on that. It is funny, and of course, it is intimidating for one grown man to basically come up and grab your nuts.
Especially a big ass dude like him.
I feel like Dexter Lawrence walking up, grabbing by your nuts, and be like, these nuts are mine."
I mean, what are you gonna do?
You can't do nothing. You're just
it's kind of like prison attitude. Like you're dominating another man and letting him know that he ain't shit.
So you can officially say Clemson has the Miami Hurricane mentality.
I think it's official that Clemson's making a lot of people hold their pockets.
That sounds like Miami mentality.
Yeah. I think they have. They've just gotten it in their head that this is what it is. We don't give a shit if they like it or not.
Who's Clemson's Uncle Luke?
It's hard to say, actually. There's probably like 100 of them, to be quite honest with you. Probably about 100 of them.
All right, so let's go ahead and move on to the bowl games. We had a lot of bowl games this week, and we had 3 on Thursday. We had the Birmingham Bowl. We had South Florida versus South Carolina. South Carolina was getting plus 10.5. And USF won this game, but they barely won. They won 46-39 in a very close contention.
Yeah, and that's to me, that's really sad on the state of affairs of South Carolina football. Because I know South Florida's good, but damn, y'all are sorry.
I mean, you got to be better than USF.
I mean, seriously, y'all are sorry. I ain't got nothing else to say. Y'all are some shameful sons of bitches. I mean, look who you hired. I mean, I hope you're not expecting better results anytime soon. You hired Will fucking Muschamp, so...
You got to remember who you're talking to here. You talk to the South Carolina fans. The ones that are no teeth, backwoods. I'm going to go fuck my cousin.
No, I'm telling you, man. I mean, not all of them are like that, we will say.
No. I'm not saying all of them are like that,
but quite a few of you are like that. Let's be honest. You're not all like that, but being honest, some of you are. And, I'm talking to all y'all at Johnny Spaghetti Stain. I'm talking to you out there in Columbia. Y'all ain't going to get no better until you figure out what the hell you're doing in Columbia. Are you a basketball school? Are you a baseball school? Are you a football school? I mean, you're trying to contend in all three. And there for a while, you were killing it. You were kicking ass in baseball. Your basketball program was up and coming. Your football program was finishing top 10, top 5 one year. Y'all were looking good, and then the wheels fell off the bus. It's like y'all just can't keep nothing going down there. So, I don't know, I don't know what you want. But all I can say is, we own you. Just like we own Ohio State, we're back to owning your asses three in a row now. And all I can tell you is this. Don't expect things to get better anytime soon because we are still killing it in recruiting. You don't even want no parts of the people we're getting in here now. Like, wait till Hunter Johnson is going to fuck y'all up next year bad. He's going to be the starter, and he's going to fuck them up in their house. It ain't going to matter where they're at. They can play this game on fucking the goddamn Green Holy Catholic Field Church with Jesus in it in Georgetown, Delaware. It don't matter where the fuck they play. They're going to get killed.
You're that confident in the Clemson recruiting?
Fuck yes. It's not even close how much better our recruiting. Listen, you can put their fucking squad out there against our recruits. I think our recruits will kick their ass as it is now. That's how good they are.
Now, I know I heard Dabo say on the radio, because I heard him on one of the local stations here, WCCP 105.5, here out of Clemson. I heard them talking to Dabo a little bit, and he said that, he felt like next year's recruiting class is going to be kind of a lighter class, and the year after is going to be a light class because they have such good recruits in there now that their next two classes are going to be a little bit lighter. But then going into like 2019, 2020, they're going to start getting heavy again because they're going to have a lot of people going out and a lot of people coming in.
Well, see, he says that, but I still think we're going to nab a bunch of good recruits because we've created a competition here. Like, it's a culture of it. Like, we get three of the best damn quarterbacks in the country from all different areas. Only one of them gets to start. But, I mean, it's a smart logic, too, because if you've got three of the best quarterbacks, you're keeping the other two off the field from going against you. It's smart. And we keep a lot of talent here. I mean, people are already freaking out about, God, it's finally over. Deshaun's leaving. This day was going to come. And, yeah, it's going to be hard following a killer, but that's why you go out there and recruit hard. That's why we got the recruits that we have. I mean, you got to remember here, these might be potentially the guys that make you forget who Deshaun Watson even is. You know what I mean? Like, it's quite possible that could happen. Clemson's not going nowhere, dude. I mean, we're getting ready to open the best facilities in college football this coming year.
Especially if they win a championship this year.
$55 million complex is about to be opened. It's retarded. Yeah, I mean, dude, we're about to have the best. It's not even close. Like, we are upgrading so hard around here because we are now not that little teeny school in the hills no more. Clemson is now fucking big time. Clemson is elite.
I mean, even their basketball team's doing really well.
I mean,
soccer did well this year. Field hockey, I think, did really well this year. I think a lot of their programs had a really good year this year.
I mean, Clemson is up and coming, man. I mean, people always said that it would never be back to the days of Danny Ford, like those days were gone forever. Listen, they're here right now. All we have to do is bring home that natty. We bring that bad boy home, and people, Danny Ford, it'll be Dabo. I mean, I don't know. I think it's getting ready to happen. I think that we've been there. We've now lost it. We lost last year. First loss ever last year came in that game. And the roles are reversed this year. Alabama's undefeated. We're coming in with a loss. I think that actually counts for something.
So let's go ahead and we'll talk a little bit more about that later on in the show. Moving on to the next bowl game, we have the Belt Bowl. We have Arkansas versus Virginia Tech. Virginia Tech was a 7-point favorite, and Virginia Tech actually won this game 35-24. Pretty convincing fashion. I mean, they did keep it pretty close, but in the end, Virginia Tech kind of pulled away with it.
Which we expected them to.
We did. I mean, they went up against Clemson in the ACC championship.
And played well.
So, I mean, I expected that. Virginia Tech's a good team, and Arkansas, again, like we said last week, they're bottom of the barrel SEC team.
Well, Virginia Tech was good, and Arkansas was who we thought they were.
Pretty much.
That's really how that worked. For real. You ain't lying.
And then we have, in the Alamo Bowl, last game of the night, we had Oklahoma State versus Colorado. Colorado was a 3-point favorite, and Oklahoma State just came out and did exactly what we said they were going to do. They fucking just steamrolled their ass.
And you know what? I remember all those people thought I was stupid for taking Oklahoma State in my pool. Everyone's like, man, Colorado is so much better than I was like, yeah, right. Oklahoma State is going to kick their ass. Are you kidding me? I was like, they are rougher, tougher, they hit harder, and their fucking receiving core is a lot faster than Colorado's secondary. And boy, were we right.
And guess what, badass? With that Oklahoma State win, we were 3-0 on Thursday. Because we won the USF game because we were getting plus 10.5. We won the Virginia Tech because we were giving 7 points. And we won the Oklahoma State game because we were getting plus 3 and we didn't even need them in that game.
And we both said we weren't going to need them too. I remember we were both soon as we saw that game, like we didn't even think about it. We're like, we're taking Oklahoma State. We didn't even think about it. I remember because I was like, well, that's easy. There was no debating that.
No debate on that.
Hell
Not at
no.
all.
Like we both knew what was getting ready to flush down that pipe.
So we started off the week 3-0. I was like, man, looking good so far. We moved on to Friday. Friday we had 5 games. The first game was the Liberty Bowl. We had TCU versus Georgia. Georgia was a 1-point favorite. And Georgia actually came out and won this game by 8 points. They won 31-23. I was a little surprised in this game. I thought TCU was going to win this game. I was pretty confident what your wife was telling me about TCU is going to win this game. She was very confident when she said it. I believed her. For the first time all year, she did us wrong.
I went with Georgia on my card. I was like, nope, I'm going with Georgia. I was like, she's been right about this the whole season. She's got to get one wrong, and something told me it's going to be in the bowl game. She's going to go against them, and they're going to win. And cha-ching, cha-ching. That was a winner chicken dinner on the card.
Well, it wasn't winner chicken dinner for us. We lost that game because we decided to go with TCU on that game. Next game, we had the Sun Bowl, which was actually a very interesting game. It was UNC versus Stanford. Stanford was a 3-point favorite. And Stanford ended up winning this game 25-23.
You covered on the points, North Carolina, but you know what? Y'all are sorry because you couldn't even beat Stanford. And they didn't even have their best player on the field. So y'all get a big fat... Y'all are sorry.
That is terrible. They didn't have their best player on the field, and they still ended up losing that game.
No, that's what I mean. Like, Stanford was minus Christian McCaffrey, whatever his name is. Is that his name?
Yeah, Christian McCaffrey.
Yeah, Christian McCaffrey. He's who you wanted to see play anyway, and he was like, I'm not going to play. North Carolina, you should have been able to have jumped out, and, like, you shouldn't even have needed those points to win. You should have beat them by a touchdown at least. They're playing without their star player, who they cannot replace. That makes your job so much easier because all you have to do now is tee off on their running backs and their wide receivers and keep them locked up. If you can manage to do most of that, you should have won that game easily. But you couldn't. I mean, Larry Fedora, I'm sorry. You're fucking sorry. Like, you really are.
And I mean, it just pretty much puts the exclamation point on the UNC season all year.
It really does. Like, you're up, you're down. You're hot, you're cold. You're warm, you're fucking lukewarm. You're ice cold. Like, what the fuck are y'all? I mean, oh yeah, you're a basketball school. Quit trying to fucking compete with the likes of Clemson and Florida State. You are not that, okay? Get that shit out of your head. Mitch Trubisky is not Deshaun Watson. Elijah Hood is pretty good, but that's only when he's actually running like he's supposed to because, you know, he is a bruising back when he wants to run, but I'm sorry. Y'all are just a basketball school. I'll give you that. Like, when it comes to basketball, you own Clemson like a sumbitch. Like, it's not, we're not even debating that. There is no rivalry. It's one-sided ass whooping every time because UNC even beat them last night in the basketball game.
Yeah, I was going to actually ask about that because I know they played them and Clemson had a 9-game winning streak going.
Yeah. And
they were looking really, really good, and they came in against UNC. And I didn't see.
Game.
I heard it was a very competitive game. I didn't see what the final was of it.
I think it was like 85-83 or something like that. It was a close loss.
Oh, was it within 5 points?
It was, but see, Clemson got beat up real bad on the offensive glass rebounds. They got beat up real bad because you know how big UNC is. Like, they can just go up there and cherry pick a rebound, and they're really lightning quick to the basket. But apparently Clemson, you know, held them in check and had a good game. They even came back from, I think, 8 down, rallied pretty furious and tied it. But, I mean, Clemson is not known for being a basketball school. The fact is they're getting better. They just rebuilt Little John. Apparently it's really nice in there now. I'd actually like to take the wife to a game because it doesn't suck anymore. But, I mean, hell, maybe we are getting better because I remember UNC used to just blow us out.
Actually, I might be able to help you out with that, badass. Because I actually know one of the basketball players on the Clemson team. He came into my work one day to get a Sprint phone, and I had a chance to talk to him a little bit, and come to find out he played on the basketball team, transferred from Texas A&M, Elijah Thompson.
Okay, hell yeah, I know who that is.
Big guy, tall guy. The guy I had to stretch my neck up and hurt my neck from looking up at him because he's so tall.
That's pretty cool though.
But he came in and he told me, he's like, yeah, I'll come back and give you guys tickets, in the season. So I'm expecting him to come in sometime in the next couple of weeks and give us some tickets. So I'll definitely keep you in mind on that.
That would be pretty cool because I'm not gonna lie, I'd like to see the new Little John because everyone says it's actually nice.
I've actually never been to a college basketball game, so this will be my first one.
Dude, it's not that expensive to go. We should actually get tickets to a pretty decent game. We'll talk about that off air.
Yeah, we'll talk about it off air. But getting back to what we were talking about, UNC, they never didn't have the best player. UNC still lost this game. Guys, just pack it in. You're a basketball school. Enough said.
For real.
So moving on to the next game, we have Arizona Bowl. We had South Alabama versus Air Force. Air Force was a 13-point favorite. Air Force just came out and absolutely whooped South Alabama's ass, 45-21.
To be fair, here's how this went. I was checking the scores. It was 21-3. South Alabama literally had 21-3. Air Force was losing. I was like, well, damn, this is looking good. South Alabama's got plus 13 points. Check the score again. 21-21. Tie game. Check the score again. It's like 35-21. I'm like, oh, God, here they are. They're going to run away. Boom. Check the final score. 45-21. Covered the spread easily, and I was just like, you sorry sons of bitches. Let them score 45 unanswered points. You have got to be the sorriest sons of bitches ever. So you know what? You get this, South Alabama, because you should have been better than that, but from old badass to you, y'all are some fucking turds.
See, I didn't get a chance to watch any of this game because I was working that day. But I can't believe that South Alabama went up 21-3 and just allowed them to score 42 unanswered points.
Yeah, 42. 42 unanswered. I said 45. He's right. It's 42. But still, the fuck's a field goal make when you're giving up 40 fucking plus unanswered? I mean,
you give up 7 touchdowns.
Right. Like, how sorry are you?
7 touchdowns.
Well, that's 6, but still.
Or 6. I'm sorry, 6.
But like you said, motherfuck.
Apparently, math is not a strong point for Burger or Badass today.
Shit, no lie, bro. I failed algebra twice. Algebra 1 and 2. Failed them both once. I was like, man, this fish plus orange equals shoe. Fuck this.
But, yeah. So, Air Force just came out and put the beat down on them and won 45-21. Next game was the Music City Bowl. Nebraska versus Tennessee. Tennessee was a 3-point favorite, and Tennessee won this game pretty handily, 38-24.
And outclassed Nebraska the entire game. They really did.
And I think I was a little hesitant on this game when we picked, if I'm not mistaken. I think I was a little hesitant. I was like, oh, I don't know. Nebraska had such a great year. Kind of hard not to go with them. I want to pick them. And you're like, no, dude, pick Tennessee. They're going to win this game. They're going to win it handily by at least 10 more points. The point spread is going to cover. You'll be fine.
You know what's messed up, too, is I said all that before I even knew Tommy Armstrong Jr. was going to be out of the game. As soon as I saw he wasn't playing for Nebraska, I was like, shit. I was like, Nebraska's going to need more than 3. They're going to need 7, maybe 10. And that's exactly what it ended up. I mean, they got handled.
So moving on to the last game on Friday night, we had the Orange Bowl. And this was actually probably, I say, one of the biggest surprises of the week. We had Florida State versus Michigan. Michigan was a 7-point favorite. And Florida State actually ended up winning this game in a very close contention. They won 33-32. And I'm just surprised. I really am. I mean, I know we talked about this last week about, stopping, Dalvin Cook and, holding him in check. And I didn't get a chance to watch any of this game. But, I mean, come on, guys. I mean, you allow Florida State, a team that has struggled all year long, to score 33 points on you, and you can only score 32. I don't know if they just had a lackluster end of the season. This really doesn't matter. Or I'm not sure what happened with Michigan, but they really didn't look like they had much for this game.
It was kind of sad, I'm not going to lie, because it was a game full of crazy plays. Like, uh, there was a blocked extra point that went back to the house for 2 points for the other side. There was blown coverage on the final kickoff because that's what gave Florida State their position to eventually win the game. But it was a crazy amount of plays. Michigan did not do that great of a job bottling up Dalvin Cook. I mean, he's one of those really special players where everybody is going to give up a big play to him. Like, I don't think there's been a game where he's been bottled the entire game because he is that good of a running back. But to me, when it came down to this game, I know that we had Michigan on our picks. On my card, I had Florida State because you're going to give Florida State a touchdown. I'm taking it. Like, there's no way I'm not taking it.
I mean, I do remember you saying that in the show last week. You said, man, it's kind of hard not to take Florida State +7 because you're going to give Florida State 7 points to start off with. That's pretty crazy. And I was like, no. Michigan's going to come out. They're going to score a lot of points. Florida State's going to keep up with them in the beginning, but I think that Michigan's just going to pull away in the end and win by 2 or 3 touchdowns. And you were like, I don't know. I think Florida State, they bottle up Dalvin Cook. They could keep it really close or even win this game. And, of course, you were right.
I mean, if it would have been Florida State +3, I might have been hesitant. I would give it more thought. I eventually would have probably took Florida State +3 anyway, even though it was just a field goal I'm getting. But there was just no way. When I saw 7, I was like, Michigan's good, but they're not a 7-point favorite against Florida State. They'd have been a 3-point favorite. You can more closely bite on that. It's like Alabama. You're telling me they're a 7-point favorite against Clemson. I'm saying you should only 3 tops because they might not even win the game. Like, it's going to be one of those situations where the favorite goes in and loses a close game to the team in which is a touchdown favorite. I mean, you can't give a really good football team a touchdown. That's a dagger. I mean, you're giving them a whole score. It's not like the Sisters of the Poor, man. It's a good quality team.
Yeah, but what scares me with Florida State is they just had such an up and down season this year that I thought, honestly, Michigan was a better team. I thought Michigan, the way they played all year long, being up there for most of the, championship playoffs and all that, and, missing out in the end because they lost to Ohio State. I thought Michigan was just a better team. Florida State struggled this year. I think, Michigan should definitely win this game by more than 7 points. And just they came out flat. I mean, they really did. I mean, they did fight. I mean, I'll give them credit. I mean, it was an all-out fight. But to me, it shouldn't have been as much of a fight as it should have been. Kind of like the Rocky fight in the first one, Creed. I mean, those guys just beat the hell out of each other. And it was supposed to be just a match that the guy that he was going against was just some chump.
He thought it was going to be over in 3 rounds.
Over in 1 or 2 rounds, maybe 3 rounds. And he took them the distance, and they beat the hell out of each other. And that's what it was. They beat the hell out of each other, but I really didn't think it had to be like that. I mean, I think truly Michigan was the better team this year overall and should have won this game. They just came out flat.
Florida State just has that, like, horseshoe up their ass where it's like, honestly, that's another deciding factor to why I took them. Florida State just somehow finds a way to win games like they really shouldn't. Like, it's not surprising that they come out and won that game because that's who Florida State is. They'll play up and down all year long. They'll be in contention somewhat. They'll end up in a bowl game and you're like, well, they should lose or they might lose. And then they don't. I mean, they're just... Jimbo Fisher's a good coach. Can't take nothing away from him. He knows how to prepare.
Hence why they signed him to 2024.
Exactly. I mean, hell, that was a smart move by Florida State.
So, overall, Friday, we were 2-3. We struggled a little bit on Friday. But we came out Saturday, we had the Citrus Bowl. We had LSU versus Louisville. LSU was a 3.5-point favorite, and LSU just came out and steamrolled Louisville. And I am just so happy because I am not a Lamar Jackson fan. I never have been.
Hey, Lamar, Louisville, guess what?
Oh, no! We suck again!
Yeah, you do. You know what? How's that Heisman Trophy bullshit looking now? Y'all came out and shit the bed against LSU, and I called that shit from day one. Day one, when I saw that matchup, I knew I was laying those points and taking LSU. I didn't even budge. Why? Because LSU's got grown-ass men on that D-line, and I knew they were going to fucking be eating some soup against your sorry asses.
Oh, they smacked them around.
And y'all got smacked around like a bunch of red-headed stepchildren, Sisters of the Poor, Catholic Church. No, I mean, they whooped you up and down the field and made y'all look like shit. And you know what? You deserve it. You really do. You cheating asses, you lying asses. You know, your program should and could be better than this ethically and morally, but that's what happens when you hire who you hire for your head coach. Petrino is not known for being an ethical guy. And I'm sorry, but your little Heisman candidate and your little Heisman winner and your black Jesus-ass motherfucker Lamar Jackson, guess what? He got made to look like shit again. And all the teams that beat y'all this year, guess what they all had in common? They had a decent defense, if not an elite defense. Kentucky just happened to get lucky against y'all, but y'all got your asses mopped by better teams. Every time you came up against elite talent, this is what y'all got.
Oh no! We suck again!
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah, and I'm so happy because I've been a Louisville hater all year long. I don't like Lamar Jackson. I don't like that squad. I think their coach is dirty. And point blank, I was praying to every God and every person I could pray to that LSU just came out and stomped them. And they came out and they stomped the shit out of them. And what's great about it is this is played on New Year's Eve day. So it was just a great way to go into 2017 to see Louisville get their ass smacked.
You get whacked.
And just get fucking beat down like the redheaded stepchilds they are.
I mean, let's think about this. I mean, for all that fucking ballyhoo about y'all at the beginning of the year, where are y'all at now? Oh, y'all probably still in them ice baths after you got your asses knocked around by LSU.
So moving on to the other game on Saturday, we had the Tech Slayer Bowl. We had Kentucky versus Georgia Tech. Georgia Tech was a 4-point favorite, and they didn't even need it because Georgia Tech came out and whooped Kentucky's ass 33-18. We expected this. We said last week Georgia Tech is a better team. Kentucky, of course, we said is a basketball team. We've said it all year long. And Georgia Tech basically did exactly what we said they were going to do. They came out and they controlled this game from the start to the finish.
Yeah, Kentucky is who we thought they were. They really were. And not only, let's just be real about this. Unless you know how to defend the triple option, it's not going to be an easy day for you. And it's evident because if you know how to defend triple option, you're going to beat Georgia Tech pretty soundly. If you don't know how to defend triple option, they're going to beat you pretty badly because their style of play is run the ball, run the ball, run the ball, control the clock, keep your defense on the field, get them tired, run the ball, run the ball, run the ball, control the clock, keep your defense on the field, keep them tired, keep your offense off the field. That is their whole game plan. And when they implement it and execute it, it's a long night for the other team because you're constantly on your heels defending an option. But if you know what you're doing, it's 3 and out, 3 and out, 3 and out, ass kick. We scored. Here you go. Here's the ball back. 3 and out, 3 and out. Thank you. We scored again. I mean,
Pretty much what Georgia Tech did to Kentucky.
Correct. Like Georgia Tech did to Kentucky what they did because Kentucky does not know how to defend an option. When they went up against Clemson earlier this year, you saw exactly how that went. They got their shit pushed in. Bad. Real fucking bad. It was ugly.
All right, so with the LSU win and the Georgia Tech win, along with the Alabama win, which they were 14-point favorites, and they won 24-7, and of course we took Clemson, and they were the 3-point underdogs, and they won 31-0. So with that, we were 4-0 on Saturday.
Strong.
Straight beast.
Strong.
Beast. So moving on to the last really big day of bowl games, we had Monday, January 2nd. We had 4 games, and they were all big games. We had the Outback Bowl. We had Iowa versus Florida. Florida was a 2.5-point favorite, and Florida came out and did work on Iowa. They ended up scoring 49 points. Iowa scored 35. It looks like it was a very close game. I did not get a chance to watch this game because, of course, I was working. But it looked like Florida did win the game, by 2 touchdowns, but Iowa did score 35 points on Florida's defense, which we've said all year long. Florida's defense is shit.
Fair enough. I mean, I could have swore that the score was different from that because the entire time I was watching that game, Florida was just outright owning Iowa's ass, like really bad. So, I mean, I don't know, I could be wrong, but I could have swore it was an ass. Yeah, see, now that's the wrong score.
That's one I had on according to ESPN.
No, that's the wrong score. You had to have been looking at a different game because I got it right here. Outback Bowl, Monday, January 2nd, 1 p.m., Raymond James Stadium, Tampa, Florida, where they played. And this is the score that it was, because I remember this. It was 30-3. Because remember, I took Florida on the card, and I was ecstatic because they just whopped the Hawkeyes. So, yes.
Where the hell did that come from?
I don't know. That is because when I looked at your score, I was like, wait a minute. Iowa didn't score any points hardly.
See, that's what happens when I go with a liberal place and get my information from it.
You shouldn't be getting your shit from ESPN. You already know what they're full of.
Yep, that'd be it. That'd be the last time I do it because they made me look a fool on here, and now I'm not gonna use them anymore. So guess what, ESPN? Bye bye.
You see what you done did? You done goofed.
So apparently I totally goofed that score, and it was 30-3 with the final.
Yep.
So Florida came out and just pretty much dominated this whole game.
Defense. They just were all over Iowa, intercepting the ball. Defense. They really were. That defense showed up just like we thought they would. They did.
So we ended up losing that game, and moving on to the next game, we had the Cotton Bowl. We had Western Michigan versus Wisconsin. Wisconsin was a 7.5-point favorite. Wisconsin did win this game, but they didn't win it as much as people thought they would. They ended up winning this game 24-16. Western Michigan kept it very close throughout the whole game, and I was actually very impressed with Western Michigan. And I know you said that, last week, this is where their bubble gets popped. Wisconsin's going to come out. They're going to whoop their ass. I agreed with you because I thought Wisconsin should win this game. They're the better team.
Right, like Wisconsin had zero, none whatsoever business losing that game. None. Like, it's a good thing you did and covered the spread because you're Wisconsin. You are supposedly one of the elite programs in the Big Ten. How are you going to look losing to Western Michigan? That can't happen. It just can't.
No.
So,
can't.
I mean, again, I'm glad you won and covered the spread, but I am a little shocked you didn't win by double digits. I really am. I mean, apparently Western Michigan gave you all that they gave you everything they had, and you could handle it, but they gave you all you could handle, and you barely came out on top.
I mean, this is another one of the big surprise games that, again, one team that I thought was going to come out and whoop ass, and they came out flat or just underestimated Western Michigan.
No, I don't think they underestimated Western Michigan. I think Western Michigan's a little bit better than maybe the whole world thought, because they actually had some players playing in that game, but you also know that Wisconsin's style of football is not flashy. It's line them up, let them big boys move people off that line, give it to the running back, let him go right through those tackles, let him go right into the gaps, and let him just run. And that's what they did, because I watched a good bit of that game. And Wisconsin, when they were rolling on offense, there was a lot of times where their running back was getting through that getting through the scrimmage, and he'd pop through those, right through the line, and he'd get 7-8 yards. He'd get tackled. But he was just, every time he'd just bust right through the tackle, bust right through. And, Wisconsin took some shots down the field, and some of it was successful, but they're not flashy. They know what they're going to do. They'll line up. They'll beat you playing old school football because they have the personnel to do it.
So moving on to what we said was the Burger and Badass bowl pick of the season.
Oh, and it did not disappoint.
It did not disappoint at all. It was the Rose Bowl. We had USC versus Penn State. USC was a 7-point favorite. And this game was a drag-em-out fight like we said it was going to be. I watched a little bit of this game, but then I had to turn away because I'm telling you, you guys know as sport fans, people are superstitious. And I started watching the game, and USC started scoring, so I had to walk away, stop watching the game because they started scoring, and I didn't. We picked Penn State, and Penn State was up by 2 touchdowns, 3 touchdowns.
They were up by 17 points in the fourth quarter. And I'm going to go ahead and tell y'all out here, this is a very true real-life story. I started watching this game. There were 2 interceptions in 3 minutes. The opening 3 minutes of the game, USC had done got the ball twice, scored once, was just moving on them. It went up 14-0, and I was just so fucking upset and downtrodden because my football pool that I participated in this year, it came down to this game. It was literally between me and another guy, and this game decided it because he had USC -7, I had Penn State +7, and it came down to this damn game. And I'm going to tell you, I've been calling this, Berger has been calling this for weeks, ever since they slated these games. What did we tell y'all weeks ago? What did we tell you last week? What are we telling you right now? That this game was going to be the bowl game of the whole thing because it was going to be lights out, nonstop scoring. It was going to be a big-time game, and it was not going to disappoint its billing. And boy, did it not, because when USC lined up and drilled that game-winning field goal as time expired, I was so fucking happy because I knew I just covered them points. Penn State, I love you. I won't call you Nittany rapists anymore. You helped me out big time, and I just got to say, hats off to Happy Valley because you made my wallet happy. You really did.
I mean, hats off to both teams because both teams had stellar seasons this year.
Oh, dude, USC came out and just showed everybody. I think them boys may be back.
And you know what was scary was Penn State actually was up by 7. No, I'm sorry, they were. What were they up by? They were up by 7, and then USC scored and tied the ball game. And Penn State got the ball and they started driving. And then I was watching on my app because I didn't want to go out there because the whole superstitious thing.
Yeah, me and Berger were both barred from watching the game because every time we started watching the game in the living room, Penn State started shitting the bed. So we were banned because, hey, superstition, man.
But I actually was watching it on the app a little bit, kind of looking every now and then. And all of a sudden I see USC intercepts it and runs back to Penn State's 32. And I'm like, oh, God. And then I'm thinking to myself, oh, wait a minute. There's 13 seconds left. They're going to run the ball one time or twice, call a timeout, and kick a field goal.
And drill it.
And they're going to cover. And they did. And I was like, oh, thank God. And then I heard Badass from across the room yelling, yeah, I fucking did it.
Yeah, I mean, I lost my shit. I won't lie because at the beginning of this whole thing, I rattled off a series of wins. Then I had a bloody Wednesday where I lost every game, but it came down to it. And the gods, karma, whatever you want to call it, they summoned me up a win. Apparently, I put in enough dues because they let me win that one.
But hats off to both squads, USC and Penn State, for the year you had. I take back everything I said about you, Penn State. I have respect for you now. And great season. Hats off. I mean, you guys have nothing to hang your heads about. You guys had a hell of a season, had a hell of a run. You went up against a really, really good team and you lost a really close game. A game that you probably should have won because you were up by 17 points in the fourth quarter. You blew it, but that happens. I mean, that's football. You win some, you lose some. All you can do is dust yourself off, get up, go at it again next year.
That's true. I mean, you got to learn from these things.
So moving on to the last game of the night and the last game of the bowl season besides the championship game, we had the Sugar Bowl. We had Auburn versus Oklahoma. Oklahoma was a 4.5-point favorite. And we both said going into this game, Auburn's going to get their ass whooped. And that's exactly what happened. Oklahoma came out and beat them 35-19. Oklahoma actually struggled a little bit in the beginning of this game. I did watch a little bit on the ESPN app. And watching the game a little bit, Auburn kept with Oklahoma all the way through the halftime. And it seemed like I was like to myself in here, I'm like, we're having a really good week. I hope Oklahoma comes out, they start putting some points up. Auburn just struggles, they can't get back, and they win this game and cover the points.
That's exactly
And exactly what they did.
That's like T exactly what happened. It was a good game, and then Oklahoma adjusted, and they figured out what Auburn was doing, and then that Sean White kid got hurt, and it was game over from there. It was all over but the crying after that.
I mean, it just Oklahoma came out and just pretty much dominated that second half, and I was like, yes, thank you. They're going to cover. We're going to finish the week well. Of course, Monday we finished 3-1, and that ended up making our mark for the week 12-4, which is 75%.
75% against the fucking spread, people. Let's go ahead and let you know that right now. That's pretty bad status.
I mean, just remember, guys, we're not Vegas.
We're just two guys
From South Carolina,
making picks.
doing what we love.
That's it.
No gimmicks, no bunkum, no bullshit.
Like, for real, Jimmy Crack Corn, none of that shit. Like, this is just what it is. You know, I mean, there's guys on the radio right now, like literally the guy on WCCP right now is one of our favorites, and he is a Vegas guy. He is always at the D, always at the Bellagio, smoking cigars, getting hammered, doing God knows what with the crew. He is always at Vegas. He is a fucking handicapper. And we went lights out like he would. And we're not Vegas guys. There are no credit cards.
No, we're just two guys from South Carolina.
We don't get comped rooms and specials.
We're not like going out to Vegas every other weekend.
We don't even go to Atlantic City. We don't go to Cherokee. And that's the shitty little casino near us.
I mean, who really wants to go to Atlantic City?
A fucking retard, I guess.
It's in shitty Jersey.
Yeah. Go with John Z like you did last time.
Yeah, fuck that.
Yeah, that's another story for you children out there because y'all don't know nothing about no John Z.
That's another disciple from that place we were talking about earlier in the show about where we used to work at. Everybody does time. He's done more time than me and Badass put together.
Yeah, he's a lifer.
So look. Oh, that's a shame. But he is. It's true. True story.
He's a lifer, bro.
True story. So looking at overall, the first week we were 2-7 at 22%. Week 2 we were 7-9 at 44%. And like I said, week 3 we pulled it out 12-4 at 75%. And guess what, Badass? That officially puts us at 21-20 overall record, above 500
Against the spread.
against the motherfucking spread.
Not fucking bad for two little fucking dudes from old South Carolina, huh?
So looking at some of the stuff, I did some stats. You know me, Badass. I'm a stats guy.
I know, you like your numbers.
I was actually calculating some numbers, and I was just curious about how we did on each individual day this bowl season. So on Saturday, we were 6-5 overall, picking at a 55% rate. On Tuesday, we were 1-4, picking at a 25% rate. Oh, that's not good.
No.
Wait for this one. Wednesday, we were 0-3, 0%.
Dude, I'm telling you, Bloody Wednesday in both that, because that's the same day I took 4 losses on the other card. It's fucking Wednesday, Bloody Wednesday.
Brutal.
That's the day I called. I didn't even go to work that day.
Yeah, you jinxed us all.
That day was meant to be fucked from the jump.
You just jinxed us all. Thanks, Badass.
Oh, fuck me Wednesday, exactly.
But good thing is we improved Thursday and Friday. Thursday, we were 3-1 at 75%. And on Friday, we were 5-3 at 63%.
So we started good, got bad, got real bad, and then got good and got better. Well, no, got better, then got good.
And also, on Monday nights, we're actually picking on Monday nights. We're picking at a 6-2 rate, which is like an 82% rate.
That's actually pretty stout because the Natty's being played on a Monday.
That's why I didn't finish up that stat, because I still have that one more game left, which we're going to get into here in a few minutes. But, guys, that's it for us this year for college football as far as picking. And I have to say, we picked at 47% almost all year long in our Yahoo. and we're picking at over 50% in our bowl games, excluding the, of course, the championship game coming up next week. That guys, that's not bad at all. And I just want to say, it was great doing this. I love it. I'm excited to do this next year when it comes up. We'll get back into it again when college football starts up. Start talking about it when they start getting into the pre-stages, when they start doing workouts.
Oh, don't worry. We'll be reporting live from the spring games, from all that shit, everything. Don't worry. Just because the football season has drawn pretty much to a close, I'd like to remind everybody out there, spring game is in March, April, summer camp. Boom, football season's back.
But we have one more game to talk about before it's all over.
That we do.
It's a big one, too.
So you know what I think it's time for?
What time is it for?
I think it's time for the fucking final countdown, my friend.
2 warriors will enter the ring. Only one will come out. We have number 1 Alabama undefeated versus number 2 Clemson with 1 loss. All the marbles, all the coins, everything you can say, all the cliches you want to say, all the marbles, everything. We have Clemson versus Alabama part 2, and I'm loving it. I'm so happy it came down to Clemson versus Alabama because this is, like I said before, it's like a UFC fight. You want to see part 2.
What did I say last year when this game ended? What did I tell you? When this game ended last year and Bama won and I was heartbroken, what the fuck did I say right after that game ended? What did I say? Do you remember? I know you do. What did I say?
If I'm not mistaken, you said next year it's going to be Alabama Clemson part 2.
And what else?
And that Clemson was going to win the game.
You're fucking welcome. Y'all can all suck my dick. You know the odds of that, and I called it. Yeah, that's right. You're fucking welcome.
Better than old Fat Lip Tula.
Let me tell you something. I watched them lose that game last year. I immediately said we are going back to the championship and we are going to fucking get Bama in a rematch. And everyone was like, you're out of your fucking mind. Put down the crack pipe. Quit eating the magic mushrooms. Go smoke another bowl. Yada, blah, blah, blah. Fuck you. Guess what? Suck on that, motherfucker. Who was right? Fucking crickets. Yeah, y'all can suck on that. Because guess what? That was part 1. Part 2's coming true, too. For all you Roll Tiders out there, this ain't your year. You might think it is. It's not. We're taking that motherfucking title. Because we ain't got to go to fucking Phoenix. We're going to Tampa. So I don't know if y'all understand what that means. Clemson's going to be emptied. There's not going to be anyone here. All you burglars out there, there's a lot of homes that are going to be able to be nice and hit on Monday. There ain't going to be nobody home. You know why? They're all traveling. You better get ready, because we're ready. We're going to fucking whip y'all's ass. You heard it here. You heard it first. I'll take the touchdown. We ain't even going to fucking need it.
Wow. That was a lot badass.
We ain't going to fucking need it.
But I'm telling you, there's a lot of keys to this game. And I think one of the big keys for Alabama is going to be stopping Deshaun Watson. That's one of their big keys. They're going to have to stop Deshaun Watson, not only from throwing the ball, but also from taking off and running the ball. Because he will hurt you, and he will hurt you all day.
Yes, he will. And with great ease, might we add. Relative ease.
Best thing Alabama can do for defense-wise, put pressure on Deshaun Watson, make him make stupid mistakes, make him throw interceptions. Alabama, you are known for having a stellar defense. We can't take that away from you. You guys have a stellar defense. Your defense is one of the top-notch defenses in college football.
You are the standard bearer. You are the blue ribbon.
I mean, look how much they are. I think they're like plus 10 or 11 on touchdowns this year on defense.
If you turn the ball over to them, you will pay for it. We can tell you that much.
So I think one of the big keys is going to be stopping Deshaun Watson. I mean, for Alabama, I think if they can stop him from throwing the ball and stop him from taking off and running the ball, and cause him to put a good hit on him, maybe cause him to fumble the ball, or get in and knock him down and have him throw an aired pass and get it intercepted, maybe run back to the house or get it deep in the territory and score off of that. That's one of the keys, I think, for Alabama. So, looking at Clemson, what are some of the keys of Clemson winning this game, Badass?
We've been there before. Our captains know what this is about. We know their personnel. Last year, I stated the first team to 30 was going to be your winner. And that almost came true. Clemson actually did cross the 30 mark first. We didn't win the game. This year, I think the person who wins the game is the first person to cross 21 points. It's not going to be a big scoring game like it was last year. I'm looking at a low scoring over-under of about 56, 57, 28 points, 30 points wins this ball game because this is going to be a defensive struggle once these teams settle in. The nerves ain't going to be there like it was last year. Not that bad anyway. Also, I think the biggest thing is Alabama does not have the depth that they had last year. We do. We're very stocked. We can rotate more bodies, especially on the defensive line, than they can. They have very underrated wide receivers that are very talented. But I think where it really counts this year the most is we have a full offense. It is full and it's firing on all cylinders right now. Mike Williams is healthy. Hunter Renfrow is healthy. Deion Kane is healthy. Artavis Scott is healthy. Jordan Leggett is healthy. We have weapons all over the field, and they are all playing well. So, I mean, what I really think it's going to come down to is the key to Clemson, the three big ones, if I had to name them, no turnovers. Bama's not going to beat themselves, so don't give them nothing. You can't give them anything. So that's one. Two, do not deviate your game plan. Be who you are and do not respect their fucking abilities. Respect them, disrespect their game plan. Go right at them and do exactly what they think you're going to do and fuck them up with it. And three, score. Score often and keep that offense clicking because our defense is going to make plays. They are going to play big. Brent Venables always has them ready. But the offense is going to have to do its job, and you're going to have to play the biggest game of your lives, and they can do it. And they're going to do it.
And I know I said this to you Saturday when we were watching that game. I said to you when Watson threw that second interception, I said, he can't do that against Alabama's defense because they will hurt him.
No screen passes, no tunnel. You need to get that shit out of the playbook because there was a time in that game where Ohio State almost jumped the route and took that ball, and that would have given them a pick six. Alabama will not miss. They will ball hawk that shit, and you will not catch them. They will take it to the house, and you can't do that. You've got to limit the turnovers. If you're going to turn the ball over, one time's too many against Alabama, but you've got to limit it. You can't be doing dumb shit. I know you have faith in your ability to not let it hurt you, but just remember, these are the same guys, for the most part, who knocked you off last year. They're not gonna lay down for you. So, show up, whip their ass, drag them out back to the woodshed, and pop them like you did Ohio State, because there would be nothing that would make my fucking heart happier than, because my birthday this weekend, y'all, is on Saturday. The national championship's on a Monday. I could not think of a much better birthday present than a national championship. And I would love to see Alabama get thoroughly just worked. I'd love to see them get their own medicine and take an ass whooping by more than 3 touchdowns. I would love to see that. Will I get it? Likely not. But would I love that? You bet your fucking ass.
What did I tell you earlier in the week, Badass, when I was starting to talk about the game? I said to you how I thought the game was going to finish. And I said, I think Clemson's going to go down with about a minute and a minute and a half. They're going to go down to get in the field goal range. They're going to be a tie ball game. They're going to get in the field goal range, and they're going to kick a field goal, win the game by a field goal. But, and of course, the points are going to cover because I'm comfortable taking Clemson at +7. I think that's given, it's like a Florida State. You're giving a good team +7 to start the game out. You can't really do that. And this week, I actually got to agree with you because I truly feel like Clemson is the better team here. They really are. I've said it, and I know a lot of people are going to disagree with me, especially you guys from Alabama. I know you're going to disagree with me when I say this, but I've said you guys have been overrated all year long. I think you're a good team, but I don't think you guys are as good as what you say you are. I mean, yes, you're undefeated for a reason. I understand that. But in the same sense, you guys didn't look as dominating as what you did last year. To me, the look of last year's championship team to this year's possible going up for championship, two different teams. It's like night and day. I see an Alabama team that was very dominant last year that played a very dominant Clemson team, and it came down to special teams. This year, I see it more of Clemson is the more well-rounded squad, and Alabama has a lot of holes. And you stop them certain holes, you're going to burn them up every time. But, again, Alabama's got that good defense that you just got to be careful because you can't make stupid aired passes and you can't do anything stupid. No. You got to hold on to the ball and don't try to be very careful when you're passing it out to your wide receivers.
You got to make sure you play a complete game. You know, Alabama's not going to give you anything, and they're not going to beat themselves.
No, not at all. I mean, Alabama, like I said, they're undefeated, and they're a great team. Yeah, they are. But they're not as, like I said, I don't think they're as dominant as what they were last year. I think last year's team was more dominant and had a chance to fight, with Clemson more than what they were going to do this year. I think Clemson's actually going to come out, maybe come out and score, 10 points right off the bat. And then Alabama's going to sneak back in, score maybe a touchdown, keep it close. But I see in the end, it's going to end up coming down to something like a 17-17 score. Clemson gets the ball in about a minute and a half, and Deshaun's going to do exactly what he did last year, championship game. He's going to drive down. Even though the game was pretty much over at that point, they came down in about a minute and a half, and they scored a touchdown. It was quick. I mean, those guys, I remember watching that game, and Watson was just getting up on the ball. Boom. Run up. Get the ball. Boom. Boom. Pass.
They didn't give up.
I mean, they just drove right down the field. Alabama looks like Alabama had no idea what was hitting them. And they just went right down and scored a touchdown. And I think that's what's going to happen, but they're going to get down close enough that it's going to, time to get really close. They're going to call a timeout, and they're going to be about 25, 30-yard line, maybe a little bit closer, maybe 20-yard line. And they're going to kick the winning field goal and win the championship.
I think our defense is a lot better than last year, too. I don't think Alabama's going to just be... They're not going to be moving the ball at will at times. Last year, we bottled up Derrick Henry pretty good for the most part. We didn't let him go stupid. But they still moved the ball. But honestly, our defense is better. It wouldn't surprise me if there's a lot more 3-and-outs for Bama.
I think another big key, I would say, for Clemson is stopping Scarborough.
Yeah, big time. Key in on him and stop him, your chances increase because then Jalen Hurts has to beat you, and I don't think he can. By himself, throwing the ball, I don't think he can do it.
Here's a message to Wilkins and Bower. Get him down.
Grab that motherfucker's nuts.
And grab his nuts and stick a thumb up his ass. And they will intimidate him.
Let him know who's boss.
Let him know who's boss. And he won't quit running on you. I'm telling you, he'll be scared of you.
I'm telling you, I don't have a problem. Y'all want to grab up on his nuts, do what you got to do.
Especially his championship last game of the season. You got to put it all out there and do what you can to win the game.
Get you a handful.
Get y'all a handful and a thumb up the butt.
That was funny what Bower said about that. Shit made me laugh.
Especially when he's like, "Oh, we've been doing it all year long.
Yeah.
No big deal."
Damn, son, you just rat on yourself.
No big deal. We're just sticking thumbs up butts and grabbing nuts. It's all good. So we're comfortable with taking Clemson at +7.
No, hell yes.
I am too. I think
I'm gonna need them.
I'm saying Clemson's team of destiny. I think they're going to win it. Like I said, by field goal. Badass. What was your final prediction of the game? What the score is going to be? Wow, I stumped them.
27-24.
The same fashion. Going to kick a winning field goal or?
No, I think they come back from behind winning touchdown.
Huh. Interesting.
I think we're going to be down. I think Bama's going to think that they've got it in the bag. I think Deshaun Watson's going to hit them with the game-winning touchdown. I think it's going to be one of those situations where field goal does us no good. It's got to be a touchdown. We're going to get it.
All right. So
In fact, I'll even go ahead and call it who's going to get it.
Williams?
Nope.
Scott?
Nope. Hunter Renfrow to the back of the end zone. He torched him last year. He's going to do it again.
All right. Well, I'm kind of interested to see how this game ends up. I know we're going to be watching. I'm not sure where we're going to go yet. We haven't really decided, what establishment we're going to watch this at, but I know we're going to be definitely watching this game. I'm excited because, like I said, I'm not a Clemson fan. You guys know I'm a Notre Dame Miami fan, but living in the area of Clemson, I've kind of become a fan of Clemson, and I'm really looking forward to them beating Alabama because, again, fuck Saban, fuck Alabama. Suck my tide.
Yeah, I know. Trust me. Like, my wife does like Bama. I mean, she's a Georgia girl, but she does like the houndstooth. And, I know a lot of people think they've already got this one wrapped up. It's just not going to happen. I mean, I know I'm tired of hearing all this Roll Tide shit because it's not y'all's year. It's just not.
All right, so next week we'll go over how the championship game hopefully will be excited, playing the Clemson rally chant 4 or 5 times in the game or in a show. And, I'm really hoping Clemson beats Alabama. But that is going to do it for us this week. We had a great show. Episode 15 is in the books. And, make sure, like I said, make sure you guys check us out at our Facebook page at Burger and Badass Show at Facebook.com or go to YouTube, the Burger and Badass Show at YouTube.com.
It's been a pretty cool ride. I'm not going to lie. I'm kind of upset that football's over, man. It always goes so fast once it gets here.
And I'm sad. I mean, I love college football season. Now what do we have?
I mean, we're going to have to move to basketball. We got to keep it going. We can't disappoint the people.
We can't take a whole year off, and have a vacation for a whole year and then come back.
No, hell no. That ain't going to work.
People forget about us by then.
Hell yeah. They're going to be like, who are these fucking clowns? Oh, those are guys from last year. Oh, fuck them. That's exactly what they're going to be thinking.
So we're going to move on to basketball next week. We're going to start talking about some of the games. I'm going to pick out some games of the week, and we're going to pick from them and keep our record and see how we do. And then, of course, when we get into March Madness, I'm going to have my own bracket. Badass is going to have his own bracket. We're going to go through game by game. We're going to do our picks.
Hopefully I can win that one, too.
I'm hoping I win that one.
Yeah, hell yeah.
You won the football one. You gotta let,
He's like, yeah, you gotta let somebody else win, asshole.
you gotta let me win the college basketball one.
That would be nice, though, wouldn't it?
Oh, yeah. That's like a game changer.
Oh, hell yes.
That's a little more coins than what you were talking about for yours.
It usually is a couple more. Couple more, wait, yeah, credits, coins.
Credits.
Yeah.
So that is going to do it for this week's guys. We'll be back again next week. I said doing college basketball. We'll do a final roundup of the Clemson-Alabama game. And then we'll talk a little bit of college basketball for the rest of the time. And then, like I said, we'll just keep doing what we're doing every week. And I hope you guys keep listening. We can't do it without you guys. Just remember, guys, we're not Vegas. We're just 2 guys from South Carolina.
Making our picks, doing what we love to do, man. I mean, there is no bullshit, no bunkum. There ain't no gimmicks. There ain't no nothing. It's just, it is what it is, my friend.
Yep. So we'll see you guys next week. Like I said, every Wednesday night we do this. Usually I post them the day after. I'm a little behind right now because I've been really busy with some other stuff. But I'm definitely going to get them up here very shortly. Be patient with me. I'm going to have them up there very shortly.
Yeah, I bet you they're tired of hearing that shit, huh?
Yeah, I know. I'm being a Billy bullshitter.
I'm going to tell you, I'm going to have to whip out the actual whip. I'm going to have to start making you sing songs.
No, I don't think we have to go that level yet.
I don't know, man. We're getting to it.
All right, so that's going to do it for us. We'll see you guys next week, next Wednesday.
We got Django on my ass.
No Django.
No Django.
No, I know I've seen that movie. No Django. I've seen it. No Roots either. Wow. Yeah, we went there, guys. But anyway, that's going to do it for the show and for Burger. I'll see you guys next week. Badass, you have anything to add before we end this?
We'll see you on the other side, motherfuckers.